Welcome to the third video in our four-part series for Java GlusterFS. In this video, we'll be explaining how to install the Java GlusterFS library for maintenance and modification, as well as giving general instructions on how to maintain and modify the library. The first thing to keep in mind is that in order to test your changes made, you must follow these instructions on a 64-bit Linux machine. A VM will not work. In order to follow these instructions, your CPU must have 64-bit virtualization technology enabled in the BIOS. See your motherboard and CPU's manufacturers for information on how to do so. The following software is needed for this project: VirtualBox, Vagrant, Oracle's JDK 7, IntelliJ IDEA with the Lombok plugin. Download the most recent versions of these software packages from their respective websites. In addition, the following software must be downloaded from the Ubuntu package repositories: Git, libtool, build essential, package config, automake, default JDK, Maven, and GlusterFS common. Once these packages have all been installed, clone the repositories for the GlusterFS Java file system and libgf API JNI projects into appropriately named directories. Create new projects in IntelliJ for both projects and import the projects in as Maven projects. Be sure to import Maven projects automatically when importing and search for projects recursively. Do not set the project to utilize any of the profiles for either project. You may have noticed that we now have two different versions of the JDK installed: the Oracle version and the OpenJDK. We want to make IntelliJ run off of the Oracle version, and we want the OpenJDK version to be the default Java. This is done through two commands. From this point, it's smooth sailing. From your terminal, move into the GlusterFS Java file system directory and type Vagrant up. This will load and provision a Vagrant machine with a known IP running a Gluster server. Once it's done, type Vagrant SSH. Once SSH'd into the machine, you can check if the server is mounted by typing df. You should see localhost:/foo at the end of the list. The last thing you need to do in the Vagrant machine is change the permissions of the mounted directory to allow for write access from everyone. You can then log out of the Vagrant machine. It will stay running until you type Vagrant halt. Be sure to do so whenever you're finished. Everything up to this point is just legwork for the actual installation, which utilizes Maven. Move into the libgf API JNI directory and type the command shown here. Once those are finished, move into the Gluster Java file system project and type the command shown. Then move into GlusterFS Java file system example and type the command shown. If all four commands execute without error, then you can begin work on expanding the project. As the project is meant to be a complete implementation of the NIO2 API, the Java docs for the NIO file package and its children are of utmost importance. They can be found at the link shown. Additionally, the libgf API project may be used as a reference for the libgf API JNI binding. That can be found at the link shown here. And most importantly, you must always be sure to fully test your code. All integration testing should be done using the default Linux file system implementation as reference. That's all there is to it. Our next and last video will focus on the shortcomings and missing features of the system. So if you're interested in helping to develop the project, check it out. See you next time.